The Galactic Council's war chamber fell silent as Admiral Zektar's mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among the Vrexhi. The holographic display showed a single human vessel drifting in the void. Small, unremarkable, and utterly alone against his armada of 300 ships. "This is what the humans sent to negotiate." Zektar's voice resonated through the chamber, his four arms gesturing dismissively at the display. One pathetic vessel against the might of the hegemony fleet? Commander Velos, his second-in-command, studied the readings with her compound eyes. "Admiral, the energy signatures are unusual. Perhaps we should—" "Silence." Zektar's claws scraped against his command throne. "The humans have shown their hand. They are as weak as we suspected. Begin the attack sequence." For 3 cycles, the Vrexhi hegemony had been expanding through human space, conquering colony after colony. Each victory had been swift, decisive, and brutal. The humans, with their soft flesh and single hearts, had proven no match for the superior Vrexhi technology and warrior culture. This final battle above Earth's moon would end their resistance forever. The human ship, designated UES Prometheus according to their intercepted transmissions, maintained its position with infuriating calm. It was barely a kilometer in length, a mere frigate compared to Zektar's flagship, which stretched over 20 kilometers and bristled with enough firepower to crack a planet's crust. "Unknown vessel," Zektar broadcast on all frequencies, his translator converting his clicks and hisses into human speech. "Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Your species has shown remarkable tenacity, but this ends now." The response came moments later, delivered in a steady, almost casual human voice. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the UES Prometheus. Admiral Zektar, I presume. We need to talk." More clicking laughter echoed through the war chamber. "Talk? You face the greatest armada in galactic history with a single ship, and you wish to talk?" "Actually," came the reply, "I'd like to demonstrate something first. You see, Admiral, your intelligence on human technology is about 50 years out of date." Zektar's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. Our spies have infiltrated your systems for decades." "Oh, they have," Captain Chen acknowledged. "They've seen our conventional ships, our standard weapons, our regular fleet deployments. What they haven't seen is what we've been building in the deep black, far from prying eyes. What they haven't seen is humanity's response to an existential threat." The Prometheus began to change. Velos leaned forward, her sensors struggling to process what they were detecting. "Admiral, the energy readings are spiking exponentially. The ship's hull is reconfiguring." On the display, the human vessel was indeed transforming. Panels slid away to reveal crystalline structures that pulsed with an inner light. The ship's modest length suddenly seemed irrelevant as space itself began to bend around it, creating distortions that made accurate measurements impossible. "What sorcery is this?" Zektar demanded. Captain Chen's voice remained maddeningly calm. "Not sorcery, Admiral, science. You see, while your people conquered through brute force, we've been doing what humans do best: adapting, learning, and engineering solutions to impossible problems. We call it the singularity drive. It doesn't just manipulate matter and energy. It manipulates the fundamental forces that bind reality together." Warning. Klaxons began wailing throughout the hegemony fleet as their sensors detected massive gravitational anomalies emanating from the human ship. Several smaller vessels in the front ranks reported critical system failures as their hulls groaned under impossible stresses. "Impossible." Zektar slammed his claws against his controls. "No species has mastered unified field theory. The mathematics alone are quite elegant once you stop thinking in 3 dimensions," Captain Chen interrupted. "Admiral, I'm going to give you one chance to withdraw your forces and return to Vrexhi space. Consider it a professional courtesy." Rage consumed the Admiral. No inferior species, especially not the soft, weak humans, would dictate terms to him. "All ships, open fire!" "Destroy that abomination." 300 Vrexhi warships unleashed their fury. Energy beams that could vaporize mountains, kinetic projectiles moving at relativistic speeds, and exotic matter warheads designed to disintegrate molecular bonds, all converged on the Prometheus. Nothing reached its target. The attack simply ceased to exist. As they approached the human vessel, absorbed into the warped space around it like stones dropped into an infinite well, "You had your chance," Captain Chen said softly. "The Prometheus fired once. It wasn't a traditional weapon. No beam of energy or projectile shot forth from its hull. Instead, reality hiccuped. Space-time twisted, compressed, and then snapped back like a rubber band. The wave of distortion expanded outward at the speed of causality itself, washing over the hegemony fleet in an instant. Zektar watched in horror as his armada simply stopped. Every ship, from the smallest scout to his mighty flagship, hung motionless in space. Their crews were unharmed, their life support systems still functional, but every weapon, every engine, every piece of technology more complex than a basic communicator had been rendered permanently inert. "What have you done?" he whispered. "We've demonstrated the difference between a civilization that conquers and one that creates," Captain Chen replied. "Your ships still function for life support, Admiral. Your crews will live, but your weapons will never fire again, your engines will never ignite, and your dreams of conquest end here." More human vessels began appearing from hyperspace, not warships, but rescue and medical craft. They moved among the disabled Vrexhai fleet, offering aid and supplies. "You're helping us?" Velos asked in confusion. "We're human," came the simple reply. "It's what we do. Admiral Zektar, you'll find that Earth is prepared to discuss terms for the peaceful withdrawal of Vrexhai forces from human space. We're also willing to share some of our medical and agricultural technologies to help your people transition to a more sustainable economy." Zektar stared at the display in stunned silence. His mighty fleet had been neutralized without a single casualty. The humans had demonstrated power beyond imagination, then immediately offered mercy and aid to their enemies. For the first time in his long military career, the admiral of the hegemony fleet began to understand why the humans had survived long enough to build such weapons. They didn't just fight to destroy their enemies. They fought to preserve themselves and apparently everyone else as well. "Captain Chen," he said finally, his voice stripped of its earlier arrogance, "perhaps we should talk. I thought you'd never ask, Admiral. Welcome to diplomacy, human style." As rescue ships continued their work among the disabled fleet, word spread throughout the galaxy. Humanity had revealed its true strength, and the age of conquest was over. The age of cooperation was about to begin.